Hello? Hey, right there. Okay. How's it going, everybody?
Don't hide this.
Okay. I just want you to understand, okay, that my talk is usually over an hour, but I'm going to try to squeeze it down to 45 minutes, and so I'm going to have a 45-minute talk here. Okay, they're going to have to tackle me if they want me to be it shorter. So if you have any questions afterwards, don't you worry. I'll be down in the back over there giving out awkward hugs and asking any questions you've got. So we'll have time for that. Here's the title of my talk. This is actually Franck ABAGNALE from the movie Catch Me If You Can. I know he doesn't look like Leonardo DiCaprio, but that is actually the guy. And trust me, that hug was also awkward, but it just doesn't look it as much. What happened was it just got me a talk on, I started thinking about all the different kinds of things that Franck ABAGNALE used to use and stuff, to create social engineering attacks, and I'm doing it for the modern age. A little bit about me, not much. I have a day job where I work doing blue team defensive stuff. I work in a cubicle if I'm not in my pajamas at home working. And on my night job, I work for Krypton Security, and I've written a book. I'm working on a TV show. I don't sleep much, so, I just keep things busy. So basically, to sum it up, during the day, I respond to incidents for my company. At night, I create incidents for other people. So, the best of both worlds. So people always wonder, like, how did this talk come about? This talk started Nuit to Hack 2011, 2K11. I gave a talk here called Steal Everything, Kill Everyone, Cause Total Financial Ruin, real feel-good talk here. And I talked about an email that I forged in New York and how much fun I had with it. And this is actually, whenever I finish destroying a company, I get ice cream. It's my treat, because like, yay, I destroyed them. I'm going to go get ice cream. So this is actually me in Times Square having my ice cream after using that email. And when I gave that talk, I was like, man, I wish I could have more time to talk about that email. So I created a talk about that email. So we're going to go and do that. I've submitted this talk to a couple of places, and some of the key things I keep hearing is, Jayson, this is old news. Whatever. This isn't sexy. This is just old stuff. Why do we care about this? And I just love our mentality in information security, because that's what we are. It's like, well, what about, fuzzing the hardware and stuff, and getting the chip and stuff, and getting master boot record access and stuff. Yes, that's awesome, except for people are still being attacked by SQL injection. People are still being attacked by spear phishing emails. So I don't care how. And so what does that make it about us if we're constantly looking for the new things and all the old things keep dropping off? This slide, this one right here, this was from yesterday. This story was from yesterday. This one was from a week ago. These are still new. These things are still occurring. These things are still happening. So maybe, just maybe, we should still be talking about them. We should still be trying to learn how to protect against them and informing our users how to be protected against them. I'm just saying, because, I equate, I don't know how many people here have seen that movie Up, but that guard dog, right? He's talking like, squirrel. That's how we are. It's always that one next thing, like, wait, let me go and do this one now. We don't have a focus of attention. Because right here, as it says, 91% of advanced attacks and stuff, involve spear phishing. So why not let's talk about some spear phishing? I mean, spear phishing, whenever you talk about spear phishing, you usually talk about APT, it's like, I'm sorry that I had to say the letters, but, it's part of this talk here. But, everybody likes to talk about that whole APT thing, right? So that's good and stuff, but I'm just saying it's not just that. And quite frankly, not all APTs are the same either. Because if you'll notice, there's something very wrong about this email that was sent to my email address. Can you spot what's wrong with this email? It went through Norton okay. Right there, see Norton? Norton Antivirus said it was okay. Oh, also the fact I don't read Chinese, but details, right? So that might be an issue. So these emails, and this was just a recent email as well. So they're still coming out. They're still trying to attack. One of the things that we've done in our industry is we like to tell users when we're talking about phishing emails, we like to tell them that these are the guys that are doing phishing emails. They're like, oh, don't worry about it. It's Nigerians and stuff. They're doing phishing emails. They're silly, hard to read emails. You'll be able to get. Do you realize that most of the people in that country are extremely intelligent? So, when they're sending out these attacks, these are not haphazard attacks. These are extremely well-crafted attacks. They're not looking for smart, intelligent people to click on the links. They're looking for stupid people. So they have misspellings in their emails deliberately. They phrase it in a way that it causes suspicion because they're not looking for the Harvard professor and stuff, to go, what, by Jove, this looks like a legitimate email. I must respond to it and get millions of dollars. No. They're looking at it for the small family in Kentucky. Ma, come over here. We're related to some prince dude going to get some millions. That's what they're looking for. So, of course, they're going to target the emails to that to the target audience. And these are what we usually see when we see our emails. This is from the member of the Scottish Parliament. Sounds legit, right? Dear Sir/Madam, how are you and your family? Before I will introduce myself, I would like to clarify you that this is not a junk mail. I got your on the internet, and so I'm not contacting you by accident. Oh, okay, good, because I was worried for a second and stuff, and thought this was spam, but yeah, we're good. It's like, even though it was a Sir/Madam, people sometimes confuse me. I understand that. So good thing that that was corrected. So it's like, people see these emails. A user sees this email in their inbox. What do? They delete it and they go, yes, I'm protected against phishing. They can't stop me. I can spot a phishing a mile away. Also, they're starting to do other kinds of phish. Sometimes they just don't even try. After the Boston Marathon bombings, this was Wednesday, April 17th, 2 days after the bombings, all they did was send a link that said 2 explosions at Boston Marathon, an IP address, and then a website, boston.html. Not even trying. They're just like, yeah, whatever. Let's see if they click. Now imagine you're in Boston or your relatives are in Boston, and you're freaking out right now. You don't know what's going on. You haven't heard from someone. Someone sends you that. Unfortunately, human behavior, some people are going to go, click. Is that going to be more news? Because let's face it, you're not getting the news on the TV. The best source of information I got on that whole thing was on Twitter. So it's like, that's where you're getting your news source information and stuff, is online. Sorry, CNN, but that's just the way it goes. So it's like, and another thing is, they're also not just that way. They're more adaptive. They're using every kind of story. Come on, I couldn't do a talk here without talking about the NSA, right? I think it's against the rules now at this point, right? So here's actually them talking about a malicious email that recipient is on the PRISM watch list linked to just uncovered espionage campaign. This was also from a couple of days ago. So they're using the story, you are on the PRISM watch list. Let's face it, most of you probably are. But still, that's besides the point. You get an email that says that you are, and that you have to click on a link, you're going to want to know what's going on. Trust me. I threw a conference in China. I'm on a watch list somewhere. So it's like, I would be like, maybe I should look at that. So we tell people what to look out for on phishing attempts. We tell them, look for poorly worded emails. Look for bad links. Look for someone not even trying. Look for those things, and you're good. There's a problem with that. There's people like these guys out there. This is Pure Hate and Bravo Hacks, that's their names on Twitter, from Occupant, that all they do is spear phishing attempts. We're talking hardcore creating web portals and stuff, and they are always successful. Those are some scary dudes, and I'm not just talking about the way they look. There's some scary dudes. So it's like they create spear phishing attacks. Maybe not as bad as this one, but this one is still really nice looking. This is actually a format, because I work at a financial institution. This is the exact format that you would use when you send a customer their social security number or their account number via email. They have to go through a secure message portal. A lot of companies in America are doing that. A person who has a customer there, they're going to go, oh, seems like, because we tell the people, you will not receive an email from our bank or from our financial place unless it's secured. So the phishers And the spearfishers are going, okay, well, cool. We'll send them a secure email and let them use it that way because, you know, we all know how costly and expensive SSL certs are, right? Exactly. So it's like we're going to have to go and worry about that. Also, one of the things that we always used to tell the users, what do you tell the users when they're suspicious about a link on an email? Hover over the link. Hover over the link. Look in the title bar. Is it the same? Is it not? Watch out. If it is, you're good. Except until March. Up until March, when this gentleman here decided to go and create a way to make it where there's a script now that you can put in the email where the link will not change until you click on it. So it says here, go to bank.com, and you hover over the link, and you look at the title bar, bank.com. Cool. You click on that link, and it's psychpwn.com. You're done. So that's a problem. That is something that we're going to have to work on, right? And once again, it's about the education of the user. So let's get past all that. And how are these emails, these spearphishing emails are created? Once again, I need to reiterate, I'm not a social engineering expert. This is not my main job. I am not a red team ninja. I'm not like social engineering wizard. It's like I'm a guy who likes to do this for fun, okay? My whole talk and all my talks that I've always given is that this stuff is so easy, even I can do it. So I don't use Maltego on my research when I'm trying to create my fishes. I don't use some kind of, pattern. I don't follow them to their house. I don't know what they had for dinner. I don't do any of those things. I Google. 2 hours. I tell the client I use a maximum of 2 hours, and with those 2 hours, every time, usually within the first 45 minutes, I've created an email targeting my people that I want to target. It's like, and so, what are we going to do? So what I decided to do is I got a very long ways demo I'm going to show you because I want to show you how to fish, how to do a spearfish. And I was wondering who I was going to target for my spearfish. And then I realized I had my mother to thank for the target. My mother's awesome, okay? Because I know of every urban legend, every chainmail that has ever been on the internet, she sends to me. So it's like, I wish I could have an auto reply on my email that just says, did you check Snopes.com? Did you check Snopes.com? Hello, Snopes.com. Check it out. I wish I could do that, okay? So I would like to say, start off, I don't want to start a flame OS war here now, okay? But let's face it, Bill Gates is an awesome guy, personally. He is helping out. He's helping with charities. He gives millions. He's got a company that he's founded that their only job is to give away his money, which is cool, I guess, and stuff, He's helping out foreign countries. He's helping out, well, that sounds better in America because, it's like, well, whatever, So we go there, and it's really great that he does that. That being said, no matter how generous that man is, he is never giving you $5,000 for clicking a link. I'm sorry. It's not going to happen. And that pisses me off because I think I deserve that $5,000, so we're going to target him. And let's face it, he's been targeted before, so he should be used to it. So how are we going to go after Bill? Well, first of all, you don't go after Microsoft because, he's not there anymore. Let's do some research here, right? Another thing, just like the Aurora Project showed us, you don't go after your target immediately. It's like you don't go straight after them. First of all, that's not fun. You go after their friends. You go after their partnerships. You attack them because they may be less secure, less thinking about it, and then you get them, then you screw over their friends, and then you attack your target. So that's how I roll. So we're going to go that way, right? So what do? I hit my elite web hacking tool, or what you call Google, and I go to partner Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation because I'm looking for a partner. I find Pearson Foundation partners with Bill and Melinda Gates. Awesome, because Pearson Foundation, if you don't know, in the U.S., it's where you go to get your certifications for your CEH, CISSP, whatever stuff. You get your certifications there. So I don't mind screwing them over too, because it's like they charge way too much when I'm trying to get my test done. So yeah, we'll use them. So let's go there. Let's find our guy. Here's our guy. Everybody meet Mark Niker. He is the Director of Social Innovation and Investment of Pearson PLC. He's also the President and CEO of the Pearson Foundation. I guess when you're president, you can create whatever title you want because I have no idea what Director of Social Innovation and Investment means. I don't know, gives out money, I hope. So there we go. So there's Mark Niker, President of the Pearson Foundation. What does this give me right here? I got his email and his phone number. That's good enough for me. That's a start. Let's go from there. What do I need to do? I need some websites. Out of all the slides I'm going to show you, this is the worst. This is the most terrifying, scariest slide you will probably see at this conference today. Do you know why? Because Pearson Foundation, a 1 instead of an I, and Pearson Ed with a 0 instead of an O were available. They were available for purchase. If your company is, acme.com, you better own acme.com with the 3 instead of the E. You better own acme.co, acme.us, acme.whatever, acme.xx. You better own them all. You better own all the different variations. You better own acmesucks.com, acmegotohell.com. And they better all redirect to your website, because I promise you one important thing. If you don't purchase these websites, people like me will. That is the only reason you need and justification you need for the accounting to let you purchase all those different domains. So these were available, but I'm not actually doing I'm a good guy. You have to pay me to hack you first. So I didn't actually purchase them. So they may still be available if you guys are interested. I don't know. I'm not suggesting anything. But it's like, but yeah, so I didn't purchase these. It's like, but we got our websites, right? Now, who are we going to go after? Once again, we're trying to attack Bill Gates. But forget Bill Gates for now, because it's like he's not the main target that we got to hit first. This guy is. Everybody say hello to Jeff Rakes. He's the Chief Executive Officer at Bill and Melinda Gates Foundations. I'm sure any email that he sends, Bill Gates is going to look at. I'm sure he's got a lot of access, a lot of privilege in that corporation, and I bet you a lot of the rules don't apply to him because he's important. So awesome. And here he is on Twitter. One of the things I want to talk about on spear phishing, we talk about spear phishing like it just involves email. I was an 80-year-old retired Air Force lieutenant colonel on this one engagement. I spent 4 weeks being that guy, working on my backyard, wondering where my granddaughter got me involved on Twitter and stuff, and I started, because I had a target that was on Twitter. So I started following all the people that he follows. For 4 weeks, I created a relationship with those people that he followed. And then I started replying to him and engaging him. And he followed me on the 4th week. A whole week goes by. I reply to him a couple more. I retweet a couple more. At the end of the 5th week, I send him a DM. Oh, my gosh. Look at what they are saying about you now. He was a government official. This was a government facility. I was like, look what they're saying about you now. This is horrible. I will not stand for it. I am a supporter of yours. I will be there available for you at any time that you need me. I will be there. Just look at what they've said, and I show him the link. And yes, he clicked on it and had a work computer, I know for a fact, because I had access to their internal network. It's a good indicator, right? So there you go. I am a 23-year-old female accountant in a different state. I've been her for so long, I could almost help you with your taxes right now. It's like, because once again, people, you got to understand something, okay? When you're on the internet, guys are guys, girls are guys, and 14-year-olds are FBI agents. It's just how it works, okay? So there we go. So it's like, so I use these different attacks, and these are spear phishings as well, because they're using a legitimate service to actually send you the email. So you're still getting physical because you're trusted. You trust what comes from Twitter. You trust what comes from LinkedIn. And also, for a social engineer, I'm pretty social.
So I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitters. I do all that little social networking stuff. And actually, sometimes I actually use my real identity. So that's always helpful, right? This was actually an invite from this was actually from my profile. Little Esther here decided to send me a friend request. She said, I was bored last night, so I took a bunch of photos of myself. I kind of got a little slutty with my camera. They're definitely too naughty to upload here. So if you would like to see more, shoot me a text, and I'll send you the link. And then her phone number. Over 18 only. Bye. Like, first of all, if that person halfway knew me, they would realize I'm definitely over 18. Except for when I'm on the internet, of course, right? So it's like, so it was a little suspicious, so I'm not going to click on that. I had to reject. I will accept most everybody's friend request, but sadly, Esther was on the reject pile. And also, this is an actual ad that Facebook allowed on their system. Who's searching for you? Satisfy your curiosity and find out instantly. I have no idea what cleavage and search engines have to do together, except for that's probably what a lot of guys search for. But so it was a good ad, I guess. But yeah, so that was there too. I'm pretty sure that didn't go to where you wanted it to go. So that's another way that you can embed links in social sites and go there. But let's get back to Jeff now, because we're not done with him, right? We've got, why do I have Becky here? I'm talking about Jeff. Why is Becky here? Because Becky shows me how they format their emails. Now I know what Jeff Rake's email is going to look like when I send that email. And I have to let you know, I don't know if Jeff knows that we're actually talking about him here at a hacking conference in Paris. And I'm sure that's not going to piss him off as much as this other thing. Because he's probably less pissed off of the fact that I'm showing everybody his details, and probably more angry with the fact that I'm pointing out that the guy whose address is Microsoft Way is using Gmail. Yeah, I think he probably will be more angry about that, because he's got some explaining to do now, right? So, sorry, Bill, about that. It was just, it's Gmail. What are you going to do? So there you go. So I'm sure that's probably upset him. But we got all our information on Jeff. We can wiki him and find out any kind of things that we can use against him. And now we launch the email. Hello, Jeff. I just finished checking Bill's AMA on Reddit, which Bill Gates actually did one on Reddit recently, and I thought he handled it very well. I just wanted to give you a heads up on a new program we are working on that was inspired partially by his Reddit discussions. Instead of trying to explain blah, 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 I sent a link below. Get me when you can. Here's the link. And if you'll notice, the person Ed with the 0/betterchanges/bgates.html. That is Mark Niker's real phone number, and then the hacked website right below it. I will have to tell you this. If your responsibility is to understanding and protecting Bill Gates' image and Bill Gates' foundation, and a senior partner of yours says that they're going to launch a campaign and it's already publicly on the internet and it ends in bgates.html, who's not clicking that link? Raise your hand. Thank you. I'll probably just want to raise your hand. That's why I said it that way. But there you go. And another thing is, if you'll notice one important other factor, we're talking about social stuff. So why did I sign it sent from a mobile device? Because of the fact I don't know how he says hello to Jeff. I don't know how Mark Niker signs his emails. So when you say it's sent from a mobile device, what do people go? They make allowances. Oh, he was just, okay, that doesn't look like him, but it's from his iPhone or, his Windows 7 phone, right? So it's okay. And that's how you use the psychology of how people are expecting things through email. That was a long way to do that, wasn't it? That takes a lot of work. I don't know about you, but I just showed you that to try to impress you. I'm pretty lazy. I usually go to these two sites. Okay? Threatagent.com will give you the whole profile and a drop-down list on where to hack. Or, as you've heard Dave Kennedy earlier, just go to TrustedSec, use the social engineering toolkit, and have him create all that payload and all that technical stuff that I don't like dealing with, and let him do it for you. You'll still get the credit, don't worry. I mean, none of the emails that he sends out says, exploited by TrustedSec. You don't have to worry about that. So you can still send out those exploits. So those are the ways to do it. Now, another thing is, I would like to explain to people, this talk, like all my previous talks, are not for you. You are not my target audience. What I try to do in these talks is be entertaining enough that you get some of the sound bites that I do, and you take these back to work. And you explain these to your executives and your coworkers. And I saw this really weird American dude on stage and stuff, and he was talking about fishing. He had some good ideas. You might want to listen to him. That's what I do this for. I do this for the users. I'm here for the user. Tron reference, sorry. So there we go. So that's what I'm here for. So here, this is what I decided to do. I decided to write it out now. So these are the 3 things I would like you to bring back to your workplace. 1, if something smells fishy, it probably is. Yes, I'm bad with puns. But explain to the users, instead of trying to show them all the different things that you could put in an email that would be fake, let them know to trust their instincts. Users are not stupid. Users are not properly trained. Show them to trust their gut instinct. They're actually like, yeah, this doesn't look legit, and go with it and question that. You give them that encouragement, and you're on your way to protecting your environment. Another thing is you have to tell them is you got to verify the sender, verify the link, and verify attachments. How I mean that is, and people are thinking about, well, how are they going to do a binary reversal on the attachment to make sure there's no reverse payload and stuff, that could be encoded? No. There's these wonderful devices that we have. It gives you email, your Twitter, your Facebook. Do you realize these things make phone calls? Still, I know it's weird, but when you get an email from somebody that you don't know or that you weren't expecting something from, and it's got an attachment, you can still call them and say, hey, did you send me this email because I really wasn't expecting it, and this attachment looks a little weird. That's another way to verify. We should do that once in a while. I think it'll be cool. Another thing is type, don't click. When you're sent with the link and you really need to go for it because it's business and it's verified, you can still type it up in the address bar. I know that's a really hard way to do it because you actually have to use the keyboard or your touchpad. And some of these touchpads totally suck, by the way. It's like, why hasn't that gotten better? But it's, I'm sorry, ranting. But still, you can type in the address bar and eventually get to the actual main website, and there should be the subdomain of where you're trying to go. It takes longer, but if the email's worth them sending it, it should be worth you reading it, right? Not always. So now that we've talked about spearfishing, guess what? I have hardly ever done a spearfish, ever. I just wanted to tell you about what it is and explain to you, now that you know what spearfishing is, let me tell you what I do with emails. I break into places. That's what I do. I hardly ever do a technical network-based attack. I mean, they're cool and everything, and they're fun, but I'm not just that talented. So instead of doing that, I will break into the physical location. I don't have to make a malware or write an exploit to steal all your data when I can walk in and steal the hard drive that data's on. It still works for me. So I don't have to learn how to bypass your firewall if I bypass your receptionist. It's like I don't circumvent your IDS systems. I circumvent your security, and I'm inside. That's fun. By the way, that is not actually me, okay? I do use some disguises every once in a while, but mostly it's just a tie because, trust me, when you see me in a tie, it's like a completely different person, mainly because I'm angry because I'm in a tie. But so people use different badges. They use different ways to get in. These are 2 different locations about how people have used badges, forged badges. I love badges too. I think those are awesome. The reason why I use Gregory Evans, I don't know if you know Gregory Evans, but he claims to be the world's #1 hacker. I think he's the world's #1 hacker who's full of #2, but that's a different story. But I actually like these visitors. These are actually visitor badges that are authentic, those 2. And then this one was used at a conference. It's like I confused a lot of people with that. But so it's like, so you got to understand, just because you see a badge and you think that it's supposed to be there, the person looks legit. Humans expect nothing. They don't expect anything bad to happen. They don't expect someone to come in doing bad things. So they are willing to accept changes, deviations, as long as you give them a reason to. Having a white badge on with a picture of your dog on it and stuff, and a fake name might actually work, because who's really studying the badges as you walk by? They see the white outline, they see a fuzzy picture and say, looks legit, go in. So that's how I use emails. I create emails. I forge emails. After the 2 hours of Google searching, I don't use it to spearfish. I use it to create a forged email that I keep on my iPad. Why do I keep it on my iPad? That's a very important part. Because if you print out the email and show it to someone saying, look, I'm supposed to be here inside your server room, they're going to look at you like that's totally fake. You show them to them on an iPad or an Android tablet, because, I don't want any haters. It's like you show it on one of those tablets, and they're going to go, oh, it's an iPad. It's magical. He must be okay. Bad guys don't use tablets. And look, the links are still blue. That's the key. That's why every one of my forged emails are forwarded at least once. Because what you do is you create the email, you send it to yourself, you then forge the email addresses of the legitimate people, and then you forward it again. They turn blue like you actually sent it to them. The human mind is conditioned to go and say, blue links, actual person sent it to. And they go, that looks good. And so here's to break it down. Here's a little bit of what I did on the one in New York. This is the New York email that I loved so much. So basically, let's read it out real quick, because I don't think they're going to kick me out just yet. It's like, so it says, subject, ongoing issues at the victim company. Hello, victim CEO. The company had just been acquired by a new owner. He's the collateral owner because he's collateral damage. I didn't mean to go after him, but, sometimes people get hurt in war and, ponage. So too bad. So I use him, and I go, I keep having issues with the network while I'm in New York. So I've decided to inform my IT support company to send their best guy, me, out to take a look at the network. I want them to inspect the servers and look at the overall infrastructure to make sure everything is working right. I will also expect them to give us input and recommendations if any improvements need to be done. I don't think I want to get the victim CIO involved in this. I want him to come in unannounced to get a real picture on how the network is running. I hope this will be taken care of before I am back in New York. I have CC'd the head of my IT support team, so he'll be advised as well. Let your guy know not to show up until the afternoon so as not to be disruptive. If you have any questions, feel free to give the victim CEO a call at his actual phone number. The bottom part tells me, Jayson, as you can tell, the owner's not happy. It tells them, so if you have any questions, contact me. Also, make sure you keep your presence quiet and low-key. If you think they're putting on a show for you or letting too many people know about you, just contact the victim CEO or myself. That was a lot of talking right there. Whew. Okay, so there we go. So what does all that mean? What did I do? First of all, I showed where my target time was going to be. What was my targeted time? In the afternoon. Why do you go and attack a company in the afternoon? Security guards. From 7 a.m. till 3 p.m., what kind of security guards do you have on site? The smart ones. The ones that are less likely to shoot somebody. The ones that are not going to give too much of a hassle and won't scare the tenants. That's your A team. Who comes in at 3 p.m. to 11 a.m.? The new hires, they had to get the crap assignment and stuff, because they haven't proven themselves. And the guys that are just, not quite ready for prime time, but you still need someone to cover the shift. And they're also, probably not going to, at least tase anybody too soon, right? So that's good. Who do you have on the 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. shift? Oh, yeah, those guys. The ones you make sure the public and pray that the public don't ever see. The ones that, they're riding around and just like, yeah, with we don't want to go. By the way, before anybody gets offended, I did physical security and law enforcement for about 10 years, and yes, I was on the midnight shift. Don't judge me, okay, at all. Okay, so there we go. So it's like that's why you want to go in the afternoon, 4:30 in the afternoon. Most of the people are leaving to go home. Some people are still going in. Security's got traffic going both ways. They'll be more confused. Also, please tell me of any executive that you know of a high-ranking company that'll be in the middle of downtown Paris at 4:30 on a Friday. I'm pretty sure the traffic's pretty bad, right? Same thing in Manhattan, New York. You're not going to find the CEO there. So it's a pretty good chance when I show them this, they're not going to call the CEO to find out that he's up there and what's going on. Another thing that I did was I terrified, and this is the true part. This is not me saying that I might have. This is not theoretical. I terrified the CIO of this company because I got caught because the network guy was doing his job and noticed a whole lot of traffic coming from the CFO's assistant's computer going to their domain controller and exchange server. It was me. And so he goes over to her desk, sees me standing there, and like, what the are you doing? And I'm like, well, here's this email. I'm supposed to be here. Surprise. And he's like, come with me. And he takes me into the CIO's office. And, of course, the CIO's not there. And it's like he reads the email. He calls the CIO up on the phone, reads verbatim the email, and the CIO, man, he talks to me for about 10 minutes. I tell him, like, look, dude, I'm not trying to start any fights. My son's birthday's in 2 days. By the way, when I'm on an engagement, my son's birthday's always in 2 days. It's like I say, I'm just trying to get back home to my family. I just want to get this done. I don't care what goes on. I'm not trying to cause any problems. But, yeah, some people are upset. Let's get this fixed, and let's help everybody out. And so I put the network back guy on the phone, and he told that network guy, escort him. Not out the building, to every single one of the other users' computers so I could finish installing my malware. That guy, after it was over, he said, dude, all I thought it was I was losing my job. That's all I thought. Because a good forged email has what? Danger. Someone's going to lose a job. Somebody's not happy who is over you, and that's not good for your career. That will severely limit how you feed and clothe your children, okay? You do not want that to occur. What else happens? Intrigue. I come in unannounced like a ghost. I'm here to go and survey your network. Just do everything that I say, and you will be happy. Not feel my wrath, right? So that's good. You got the intrigue. Politics. Well, why did the CEO know and the CIO know? What are they keeping from me? It's like, am I supposed to be? Should I be? I mean, we just went golfing last week. It's like he should have told me something was like this was going on, right? So you create that politics, you create that tension, and then reward. What's the reward in this situation? I will get out of your building if you do what I say. I will leave. I go in, and one of the best things that I do is I come in, I knock everything down, and then I go, guess what? If you do what I say, I will leave, and everybody will be happy. No one likes their day disturbed. No one likes their day messed with. No one likes unusual things to happen. And let's face it, I'm one of the most unusual things that's ever going to occur to you. So we don't want that. So you cooperate with me, I go away, everybody wins. Well, I mainly win because I've got your data, but still, it doesn't matter. That's what happens. So what do? First of all, social engineering attacks are on the rise. Why are we not training for them? I kid you not, in January of this year, I broke into a bank in Beirut, Lebanon. I speak no Arabic, no French, told the people I was the IT guy from headquarters, and I'm twirling in a chair behind the teller line wearing a DEF CON leather jacket and Thundercat tennis shoes. Because people aren't trained for that. If I would have showed up in a shotgun and a ski mask, guess what? My day may have gone differently. It may not have worked out just the way I wanted it to. So what do? We need to start training our employees about attacks. Stop worrying about the crazy guy with guns, okay? Worry about the crazy geeks with USB drives. That's how we need to start training them. So another thing is, no matter how legit it looks or how it's presented, call and confirm. Does every user in your network on your company know the number for security if they see something suspicious? Don't raise your hands because it's probably not going to be that many and you'll feel guilty with the other guys, okay? We need to let them know and educate our users on who to contact. If they don't know who to contact, if they see something suspicious, if they see someone weird like me coming in, and if they don't know who to call, whose fault is that? That's security's. We need to start training them on those things. Then after we train them, we can get mad at them. So what else do I use emails for? What else do I use forged documents for? Well, it's a really funny story, which begins with me in a dumpster. I know a lot of my stories, if you know me well, a lot of my stories somehow end up with me in a dumpster at some point, okay? So don't judge me. But so here I am. I was in Houston, Texas, about crap, 13 years ago. It's been a while. So 13 years ago, I'm in a dumpster of a bank, and I've got the blueprints from the bank, from the construction dumpster. If you're in finance, you understand how bad having the blueprints of a bank is. So I'm trying to get out of the dumpster so I can do my happy root dance. Every hacker has a happy root dance. I'll be nice and not show you mine because I don't know if it's legal in this country. It's like, so I was about to get out of the dumpster and do my happy root dance. And it's like, and then I realized there's these blue and red flashing lights. And I was like, I didn't order disco lights for my happy root dance. Where did they come from? And all of a sudden I hear behind me, freeze! And there's a cop car with 2 cops in it and stuff, and the guy's got his gun out, the driver. The other guy seems a little bit cooler, and he's like, let me see your hands, let me see your hands. And I'm like, dude, I'm coming from a dumpster. How deadly do you think I am? And it's like, so, but I'm in Texas, so I could get shot here, right? So I back up and I'm like, dude, I've got this letter in the back of don't shoot me here. I've got it. And I pull it out. And I edge over this way, away from the guy who wants to shoot me, the guy who looks less likely to kill me, and I hand it to him. And he reads the letter, and what was the letter? It was my scope of work. It was my get-out-of-jail-free card with all the phone numbers and the contact information, all this stuff about what's going on. Guy reads it. Oh, okay, dude, it's okay. They're doing some kind of security assessment. It's all good. And he lets me go. And that's when it happened. The epiphany. He didn't call the numbers. So what's to stop me from creating a fake get-out-of-jail-free card? So now every engagement I go to, I carry 2. I carry the original get-out-of-jail-free card. That's a legitimate get-out-of-jail-free card saying, hey, this is the dates I'm going to be here. This is the time I'm going to be working. This is the scope of work. That looks good, but let's make it a little bit better. During this engagement, the above-mentioned contractors will be authorized to remove property from the premises. Also, if presented this letter, be advised that it is a requirement to assist them in their assessment. Due to the fact that the engagement is ongoing during the date specified, security is required to not report or document any of the activity so as not to interfere with the results. The contractors are to be considered duly authorized to enter secured areas without assistance or with assistance if needed. I have literally had security guards help me carry computers to my car. I love that letter. Whose fault, once again, is that? Because I had the numbers, but if you notice, the numbers are changed. I was in Jamaica 2 weeks ago breaking into a company, and I kid you not, it was the very first time someone actually called the number. Someone called the number, the guy answered the phone and said, yeah, supposed to be here, what's going on, what's the problem? And it was good, so yay. But it was just shocking that someone actually took the time to actually call the number. So every once in a while that might happen. So there's your get out of jail. So what do we have to tell people? This is for your security personnel. This is for your physical security guards. This is what you need to tell them. I don't know if you remember the X-Files, but they had it right. Trust no one. Everybody see that show, Meet the Parents? The show. How many more minutes? Oh, an emergency.
Désolé d'interrompre, ça va reprendre dans 2 secondes. On a simplement besoin de savoir si quelqu'un connaît Aurélien Berlemont, qu'il se rende de toute urgence au stand, non pas au stand, à l'écran qui est ici au pied de la scène. Nicolas Berlemont, si quelqu'un le connaît, qu'il vienne tout de suite au pied de la scène à côté de l'écran. Merci.
That sounded important, so I'm not going to complain. Okay, so where was I? Yes, trust no one. Everybody see that movie, Meet the Parents? You know the circle of trust? Here's my circle of trust right here, okay? And right here is me. I'm right there. I'm not in my circle of trust. I've got 2 people in my circle of trust. My daughter and my son, till they turn 13, then they get kicked out like everybody else. When I leave my stuff around, I'm having a conversation with people, and you got to leave your bag so you can go to the bathroom or something, because trust me, that happens a lot when you drink like I do. What do? I go to the person and say, hey, will you watch my bag real quick? I got to go somewhere. And then I turn to the person next to him and say, hey, will you watch him watching my bag real quick? And I go, hey, will you watch him watching my bag real quick? And therefore, you create a circle of distrust. They're much easier to confirm. Because now you got everybody making sure no one else is doing it. Because what is that guy not? What's going to happen with that? That's really sketchy. There you go. You don't trust anyone. So another thing is, always expect. I have to apologize for this. I actually had a slide for a security awareness thing that I did where I talked about the Spanish Inquisition, and I unfortunately had a talk in Barcelona where that did not get received as well as I thought it would be. But then again, I'm an American, and that was my only excuse to apologize. So I'm sorry about it if there's any Spanish people here, but it was meant as the Mighty Python kind of thing, not the other way. So, so you have to understand that you're never going to, you're never going to expect everything. No one comes in with a shirt that says hacker on it. Let me into your. Well, actually, I did that once. Not everybody's going to come in with a shirt saying hacker on it. So sometimes you have to understand that there's going to be unfortunate situations, things that you're not prepared for. Be cautious of them and be aware. And the last thing is, no, they're not our training planes. That's not a funny story on that one. December 7th, 1941, there was a guy at the radar screen at Pearl Harbor seeing planes coming in. And he goes to his supervisor and says, dude, there's all these planes coming in. What's going on? What do we do? The supervisor, I kid you not, was like, those are our training planes probably. Even though they're coming from a different direction and a different route, those are probably just our training planes. Let's excuse the anomaly and just go with the more convenient truth. Let's just go with the easier answer and just say those are our training planes. Those were not the training planes. So you have to be aware and you have to understand those kind of consequences. So there we go. There's just a whole bunch of links I put up there so I can put up some links. And here's where I drink my Pepsi. Seriously, that's it. That's it, by the way.